country, they're hovering around the elements of a depression. Many American families are just basically hanging on by their fingernails. And you've touched the two major areas of concern of that, which, of course, are housing and energy. Let me start with a series of questions. First of all, I believe strongly, you've touched very excellently on the oil and the energy concerns that we have, especially our overwhelming dependency on oil, which I was very delighted to hear you say we need to wean ourselves off of. But we're not doing that quickly enough, Chairman. And one area in which we're failing miserably is in the area of quickly. The most effective way, I believe, we can bring down immediately the cost of gasoline, and that's what the American people want. They want immediate answers now. Drilling is not that answer. None of that's our answer. What our answer is getting some alternatives on the market quickly that will cut our demand on foreign oil. And nowhere is that more precise than in ethanol. And with that, I'd like to ask you why, for example, it would take a tremendous downward pressure and immediately lower the price of gasoline at the pump today if we would remove the 54 cents per gallon tariff that we have on ethanol coming in from Brazil, made from sugarcane, the most potent, the most effective form of ethanol. That would help immediately increase the available supply. If they're running the automobiles in Brazil, 90% of them off of ethanol made from sugarcane, and they have plenty of that, that would make a lot of sense for us to immediately lower that 54 cent and bring in as much of that ethanol as we can so it would offset this great need and gluttony that we have for this imported oil, and would send a loud message over to OPEC. First of all, would you recommend that? Is not that a smart thing to do? To take that 54 cents a gallon tariff off of the imports of ethanol made from sugarcane from Brazil?
Congressman, I do support free trade, and I think that would be a good step to take. I think it would be helpful. I wouldn't want to overstate it because, of course, Brazil is using a lot of its ethanol for its own country, and indeed they've been remarkably successful. They are essentially energy self-sufficient based on ethanol and their own oil sources and so on, which is a very, very different situation from where they were in the 70s, for example.
Absolutely. Let me get to my other point. I'm glad to hear you say that, and I think we should move to do that. The other areas, in other areas of biodiesel fuel, for example, there are I've not heard any incentives, any cries from the administration or anybody to increase the output of biodiesel fuel. We have advances being made. For example, in my own district in Georgia, in Clayton County and Ellenwood, we have a biodiesel plant that is making biodiesel not from petroleum, not from oil, not from fossil material, but from the fatty parts of chicken and pork. And, Chairman, they are producing 18 million gallons of it a year, going directly to the market, not on a world market, but going directly to the points of distribution in that area. Where are the incentives for biodiesel fuel when we have the mechanisms for that? If we've got that one plant that's producing 18 million gallons going directly to the market, wouldn't it make sense to get behind this movement? It would create more jobs and help stimulate the economy. Before my time is out, I wanted to ask you another question on the economic stimulus package.
There won't be time to get an answer. I apologize. We have 5 minutes. If we can make a quick.
My point is that I got 2 minutes. Your answer on the economic stimulus package, how good was it? Is it good? And given the weakness